Okay, you guys, I'm gonna go over one of the top questions we get is, do I need to be consuming this much protein if I'm not working out? And here's the answer. So, if you're new to working with us, if you've been working with us for a while, or if you aren't working with us, that's okay as well. You might have read that like a higher protein diet helps with fat loss, or it helps with this, and it's like, well, do I need to consume this much protein if I'm not working out? And I want to just cover that answer because it's something we get and we see a lot. So when you guys join our program, you know that you're given protein, carbs, and fats. There's 3 macronutrients: protein, carbs, and fats. Those that doesn't really work. Those 3 macronutrients make up all of our foods.
Do you know where Dad is?
He might be upstairs. Okay. Protein, carbs, and fats. So you're given so many. So say your goal is losing body fat, and you see that you get the app, and your protein is set at 130, your carbs are set at 146, and your fats are set at, say, 54. That's a reasonable number. So carbs and fat, how are those different than protein? So these 3 things are very different, and I'm gonna go over real quick why, because this is why protein doesn't change. And I just want you guys to think of this in your head. People think protein really quick. They think if they eat protein and they're not working out, they're gonna get bulky. That's what everybody goes to. They're like, man, I don't really wanna get bulky. And I understand the thought process of it, but that's not how that works. You have to be lifting a lot of weights, more weights than most people are even willing or even disciplined enough to lift. So don't think you're just gonna go all of a sudden look like this big old beefcake. No, those people lift so much. They are so disciplined that that doesn't just happen because all of a sudden you ate protein one day. If it did, you'd see more beefcakes walking around. Like a lot of guys would have all this muscle mass. It's not that easy. So just don't forget that. So protein is gonna be the building block to our body. It's the building block. So every cellular function in our body, we need protein. We need amino acids to have everything going up. Strong hair, nails, skin, bone, muscle, everything in our body repairing and just getting it all to go, like bone repair, muscle repair, all the tissue, everything, you guys. That's where protein comes in. Protein is gonna be the building block for our body. So that's protein. Carbs and fat, those are our body's energy sources. And why it's good to remember that, it's because those, when you guys don't work out, that means you're pulling back on energy. You're exerting less energy. So say you go to your day job, and then you come home, you do the mom stuff, you clean up, and you don't have time for the gym, but you still want to lose fat. That's okay. That's a lot of our clients. We don't have time for the gym, and it's like we really want to lose body fat and look better in our clothes and look this certain way. Well, guess what? You're exerting less energy in a day. We're never going to pull back on protein. So the way I like to remember it and I like to think of it is like this. So look at your body if it's like a car. Yes, this is a car. I'm not an artist, but there's a car, but we're actually driving this way. The guy is sitting looking that way. So there's a car. So every single day, look at your body like it's a car. Our body, every single day, we're gonna hit the 130 grams of protein. I'm gonna put it out here. Every day, no matter what, you're gonna, the protein, look at it as like the oil in the car. Every day it's the same, you're never changing it. 130. Every day. Here's what changes. And this is why it's important to remember that these are energy sources. So this, think of as the gasoline in our car. And this is the oil. So the gasoline, if you're going really far one day, say you want to go to the park and you want to go do a race with your friends, and you guys are going to run this 5K, and you guys are going to go to the park or hiking or something, and you guys want to be active. That's totally fine. But that day, you're probably going to need more carbs than fat. you're gonna need more energy. And this is why you heard, like, back if you played high school or college sports, you heard like, okay, they're carb loading the night before, they're carb loading. The reason they weren't protein loading is their protein didn't change. The carbs are what they needed to increase their energy. So carbs and fat are gonna be our body's energy sources. So this day that you're doing, say you're running a 10K and you're going to the mall and shopping and you're just on the go, 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 go all day. You don't really have time to sit down. It's mom life without a 5K or 10K. That day you're gonna need more carbs and fats. But say the next day you're like, oh my gosh, I'm so tired. I wanna just Netflix and chill. You're gonna pull back on the carbs and fats. You don't need as much energy that day. You don't need as much fuel in your body or car to get through that day. So you're gonna pull back on the carbs and fats. So this is the carbs and fats. Say the next day you're gonna go to the gym and you're just gonna take it easy. You're gonna go work, you're gonna go to the gym, or you're gonna go walk your 10,000 steps. Just moderate. It might be you just hit your moderate that day. You don't have to go over, you don't have to pull back. When I have a client that's injured, because protein is going to be key in like recovery and helping repair that muscle and that tissue, so if I have somebody that's injured, so right now I have a client, broke their ankle, they're on crutches. You can't get many steps. When you break your ankle, you're pretty sedentary, you're sitting down. So we actually increase the protein and pull back on carbs and fat. Carbs and fats are way back here, but we increase the protein to help with preserving that lean muscle and help with the repair and recover process even more. So and she's not working out. She's not working out. So don't think of carbs and fat as just if you're working out, you guys. I want you guys to look at carbs and fat as your body's energy sources, or protein. Don't look at protein just if you're working out. Protein is the same every day, unless you get hurt. If you get injured, tell your coach. That way they can help tweak your numbers. But besides that, it's the same. It's never changing. Yeah, you can go over it. There's really no negative effects of going over it a little bit. Totally fine. But to come way short on it because you don't work out, that's silly. That's where carbs and fat are gonna come. You're gonna pull back on carbs and fat. So just listen to your body. When it comes to carbs and fat, that's why we say it's really important to listen to your body, especially if you're newer to the app that we coach in. If you guys look at your numbers and you're like, wow, I've never had this many calories my whole life, and it has you at like 1,800 calories. Guess what? Hit your protein. Your goal is still to hit your protein. Carbs and fat, I'm okay if you're short on carbs and fat. If you are short on them, we always say if you don't need them, don't eat them. If your ultimate goal is fat loss, if you don't need them, don't eat them. Because carbs and fat, your body, you're gonna know if you need them. Especially if you've been tracking for a while. I know if I'm really tired one day, I'm like, oh my gosh, when was the last time I had a big carb meal? It's because I need some carbs or fat. So just know that those two, your body, as you get more in tune with your body and you're tracking your food, those two, you'll have them all figured out. If you go to bed and you're hungry, it tells me you probably didn't hit your protein. And I only know because it's been me up many nights. Like I'll go to bed and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm hungry. It's gonna make me my protein. Protein's gonna help with regulating our blood sugar. It's gonna help with maintaining and preserving our lean muscle. It's gonna help with cravings. Satiation, cravings. It's gonna help with cravings. It's gonna help with all of that. So as you increase your protein, you guys, you're not gonna need as many carbs and fat. The average American diet is pretty much all carbs and fat and no protein. Protein's like down here. It's like the little, and that's what makes us what we call skinny fat. Even if you're in a calorie deficit, you're gonna be skinny fat. You need to adjust this macronutrient breakdown, and you might need the same amount of calories. We just need more protein, less carbs, less fat. So just know that protein, carbs, and fat are really important from that standpoint of these are energy, this is a building block. Don't ever, once we start hitting your protein, hit your protein every day, and I hope that explains it. If you have any questions, drop them on here. But if you guys have any questions about protein timing, I have more videos in here. There's a whole fat loss playlist. Go through and watch them. I have tons of informational videos. But I hope that helps.